Welcome to Whispers in the Dark, where silence hides secrets, and every whisper follows you long after the lights go out. It was almost 1 a.m. when my phone lit up. At first, I thought it was just a notification, but then it started ringing. The number froze me. It was my own. Same digits, same caller ID. My phone was calling itself. I stared at it for a full minute before I answered. My voice cracked when I said, "Hello?" Static hissed in my ear, followed by a low whisper. It was my voice, but distorted, wrong, and it said, "Don't look behind you." I spun around immediately. The room was empty. My bedroom door was shut. Nothing but shadows. The next night, the phone rang again. Same time, same number. I answered, heart racing. The same voice whispered, "Don't look behind you." But this time, I swore I heard faint breathing, not through the phone, in the room, with me. I downloaded an app to record the calls. I needed proof. The following night, I let it record. The whisper came again, same warning. But when I replayed the audio, my blood ran cold. It wasn't just whispering. I heard my bedroom door creak open in the background. But I never heard it while I was on the call. I set up a hidden camera by my bed. I needed to see if someone was messing with me. At 2:13 a.m., my phone rang. I ignored it this time, pretending to sleep. The next morning, I checked the footage. And that's when I saw it. At the moment of the call, my body stood up. On camera, I watched myself walk to the nightstand, pick up the phone, and whisper into it, "Don't look behind you." But I remembered lying in bed, frozen. I never moved. So who or what answered that call? Now the calls come every night. Sometimes I don't answer. Sometimes I do. The voice always whispers the same thing. But last night, it was different. The voice didn't tell me not to look. It just laughed and said, "You finally turned around." The line went dead. And behind me, something laughed back. I was brushing my teeth when I noticed something strange in the mirror. My reflection wasn't moving the same way I was. Its eyes blinked seconds later, and its smile lingered far too long. I leaned closer, trying to convince myself it was just exhaustion. But then my reflection's lips moved without me. It whispered, "I've been waiting for you to move aside, so I can finally step out." I dropped the toothbrush and stumbled back. The reflection didn't. It stood perfectly still, smiling wider. Over the next days, it got worse. Sometimes I'd catch my reflection turning its head slightly when I wasn't. Sometimes it would linger a step behind when I walked past hallways. I even tried covering the mirrors. But at night, I'd hear soft tapping from behind the glass, like fingers. One night, I gathered the courage to film it. I placed my phone recording the mirror while I went to bed. The next morning, I pressed play. The video showed me sleeping soundly, but in the mirror, my reflection was wide awake. It pressed its palms against the glass and then started banging harder and harder, desperate to get out. When I checked the bathroom, the mirror was cracked from the inside. I tried to leave the apartment, but every reflective surface betrayed me. The TV, the darkened window, even the black screen of my phone. My reflection is always there, waiting, watching. And tonight, the cracks are bigger. I don't think the glass will hold much longer. Living with a roommate can be tough, but mine was different. Quiet, almost invisible. never talked, never ate, never left their room. At first, I thought maybe they worked nights. But every time I passed their door, I'd hear faint noises, whispering, movement. I never asked questions. One night, the whispers grew louder. I knocked on the door. No answer. I pushed it open slowly. The room was empty. No bed, no clothes, no belongings. Just an empty, dusty room. I backed away, heart pounding, and called the landlord. He sounded confused. "What roommate?" he asked. "I told you when you signed the lease. You're living alone." But I know I wasn't alone. I've heard them walking at night, pacing the hallway, stopping outside my door. I started locking my bedroom. Still, I'd wake up to find the lock undone, sometimes the door wide open. Last night, I pretended to sleep. At 3:14 a.m., the floorboards creaked. Slow footsteps came closer. I forced my eyes shut, breath shaking. Then I heard the whisper, right by my ear. I finally have a room of my own. When I opened my eyes, my bed was empty, but I could hear breathing right next to me.